I need a break from Minecraft, so I decided the best thing would be to play a game that's almost the same as Minecraft Dungeons. Go figure. I played a little bit just to kinda get the feel of the game, and we just bought a sword on a tutorial level. 641 damage per second, the Broadway. Are you kidding me? The starter damage of the sword is 67. Imagine if this actually lets us keep this after the tutorial. That would be amazing. This is the best game ever. It actually let us keep the Broadway sword, and I never did this much damage at the first dungeon level. This damage is ridiculous, 600, 800. The best I could do after playing like 7 times with these first levels was like 200 damage, and we are dealing 2400. Were my eyes playing a joke on me? That was 2000 damage, I'm pretty sure. Okay, that's absolutely ridiculous. We are only at level 3 and we managed to get the best sword in the game. This was a hard choice. This game has been out for years and it really reminds me of Minecraft Dungeons. It's almost the exact same thing, 2222 damage. This sword is OP. So I'm just looking through all of the gear that we got, and most of it is for the rogue class, and of course we are the warrior, so we can't fit any of that. But of course that's not going to stop us from dealing insane amount of the damage. This is only like dungeon 3 or 4, I can't really remember, but we are dealing almost 1000 damage every basic attack, which is absolutely crazy for this part of the game. Of course we want to get to at least 10,000 in this video, but of course we have 3 different classes, the rogue, which is the archer slash assassin, we have the warrior and the mage, and from the looks of things the warrior is gonna be really insane. Did I see 4000 damage? Last round we almost managed to get 5000 damage in one basic attack, and crit just did 6000 damage. Okay, this sword is just way too overpowered. Game definitely shouldn't have let me use it, but I'm not going to complain. Scrap that, we got a new amazing weapon, 1203 damage per second. This is not going to replace your sword, so I want to see what it does. First dungeon and we have 2 overpowered weapons. So that's what the toss means, 3 axes just thrown with the lightning effect and 4000 damage per hit. This is pretty much one-shotting all of the enemies, and I'm not sure if that was supposed to happen this early on. So just to show you that our axes are completely insane, we are dealing 14,000 damage per second with the toss ability. That's just insane. Toss ability is dealing way too much damage, it's one-shotting everything, it seems too easy, so I don't really like it. Maybe something greater is coming to get us, but of course we got some new legendary gear that doesn't even come close to what we have right now. At least we get an armor upgrade, I'm not gonna complain about that, not like we are going to die anyways. So far I haven't found a single mob that causes a great deal of threat. Maybe if I stand in like 10 of them, they're going to deal some damage to me. Okay, the goblins actually explode, so we need to be a bit careful, but still they're no match for us. I leveled up and we got a new ability that allows us to toss a sword, and was that 12,000 damage? 12,000 damage, our goal was 10,000, and not even 4 minutes into the video we already have that. I just group them up together and just clean them like they don't exist. We're not gonna talk about that sword toss, you guys saw nothing. I am pretty sure we were not supposed to deal 12,000 damage this early on in the game, but I'm not even sorry. Imagine if you could like one-shot a boss, that would be interesting. Floor 5, I'm just gonna record in case, and yes, we go to the boss, Limorex. This is just a giant slime. Can we one-shot you? And no we can't, but we are dealing insane amount of the damage. Just toss the sword and the axes. Is it over already? Well, this was a lot easier. I'm pretty sure this was supposed to be harder. Of course, we are maxing the power and the damage, and we got some new legendary gear. To be honest with you, we are probably going to sell most of this stuff, even though it's not really worth anything. I just want to clear my inventory because nothing is coming close to our original gear, and I'm pretty happy about that. Second dungeon is located in the desert, and still we are one-shotting all the mobs, well, at least with our abilities. The basic attack still can't really one-shot them, but the damage we are doing is absolutely ridiculous. 22,000 critical. Okay, I'm pretty sure most of these mobs don't even have like 3000 health, but 22 is a bit of an overkill. At least when they're really grouped up together, we can do a lot of the damage really fast, just clean through all of the waves. Floor 7, can we actually buy anything? I'm kinda interested in that. And random sword, 51,000. No thank you. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't expecting to have this much fun with this game, but it's incredibly fun and really satisfying when of course you can one-shot a lot of the mobs. We just use one ability and we can easily clear like 10 mobs. You know what, let's just kinda group them up together. Come on, follow me, it's gonna be over soon and we just cleaned the majority of them. Of course, that could have been better, I could have killed every single one of them, but even half was really satisfying. Just one ability to clean that much mobs. Looks like there's a new weapon. I'm pretty sure the warrior is gonna be able to use it, but we need to check it out after we clear these mobs. So we got some new gear over here, a lot of this stuff that's not really that useful to us. Our armor has better stats, so I'm gonna keep it, but the helmet is definitely an upgrade. And we have a lance, okay, that's a new weapon. As far as the stats go, this weapon doesn't even come close to the weapon we got on the tutorial level, which game somehow let us skip, but the second ability is really interesting. It still does enough damage to actually one-shot the mobs, and we can just kinda run through them like a train. Look at that. I mean, it doesn't do 22,000 damage, yes, that's a downside, but look how amazing and epic and satisfying this looks. This might be my new favorite weapon. Again, it doesn't do as much damage, the stats are not as great, but we can still one-shot the mobs, and as long as we can do that, I'm gonna be using it just for this satisfying factor. I think I'm just going to not talk for a bit and let you guys enjoy and let myself enjoy this crazy second ability. That was the best thing I have ever done in the game, and this weapon is probably the best thing that has ever happened to this particular game. Look how amazing this looks. We are just going to run through the enemies and hopefully get an upgrade. And this one does a bit more damage, so immediately we are going to equip it and sell off all of the useless stuff. This one is green and to me it looks a lot more solid. Every time I level up, you can see I'm level 14, I add the point to the damage and the power so we can still easily one-shot all of the mobs. And right now there is only one thing I'm doing, and that is thinking like a train and being the train. Just run over the stuff. These little slimes are really satisfying because a bunch of them just come and they really have a lot of health. Not like it matters with our damage, and this weapon is not even the most powerful one. You can see we immediately got a new upgrade, 294. Our sword does a 600, and that was the sword from the beginner, from the tutorial level. So you can see we can definitely get a lot more powerful. Our second weapon does 1.2 thousand damage per second. So Little Spear has a long way to go, and I can't wait to see the most powerful one. I thought this was going to be the boss fight, but we are at floor 9, and of course our new little weapon is like purplish, and of course it does a lot more damage. Can we one-shot them? And of course we can. 6 to 8,000 damage without a critical strike. That's just ridiculous. Maybe after this we're going to encounter a new boss, But of course, right now I'm going to do the only thing I know and the only thing I know how to do best, and that is beat a train and run to every single mob. Look how amazing this is. This map might be my personal favorite because of these little corridors and hallways. You can see this space and the area for the mobs is really kinda thin, so we can just go through the middle and run through every single one of them. See what I mean? The previous levels were kinda a lot more open, so you had to kinda lure the actual mobs in a specific area if you wanted it to be really satisfying, but here the mobs and the game does it for us. Oh, we have another golden chest, and this one just spits out an insane amount of the items. Did we get an upgrade? You can see power is at 20 and everything else is the same level, and we got a new one, 331 damage per second. Again, the rest of this stuff is not really that useful, and I'm basically selling most of it, even though we don't really get that much money for it, and I'm saving our original weapon. The armor is better, and this is why I tell you this is almost the same game as Minecraft Dungeons. You constantly need to look at the new stuff you got, like the armor and the weapons, and just match things that are the best, or of course choose something that you love even though it does less damage, something like me. Looks like we got a lightning lens. I'm just gonna call it a lightning style spear. That seems like a fitting name. We're gonna go for it. It has that bluish tint that I'm definitely going to approve of. I know this is not the best weapon that we have. Of course, the weapon that we got at the beginning and the tutorial of the game is way more powerful, but this one does the trick. It one-shots the mobs and it looks cooler. We are getting some sort of hero points. I don't know what it is. So I'm just gonna go back to doing the stuff that we do best, and that is becoming one with the spear, becoming a train that just runs over every single mob that comes in our way. I still can't believe how fun this game actually is and how overpowered this weapon is. And I was kinda thinking that this level 10 was actually going to be a boss fight, but this just gives us a bit more time to have fun with our lightning style spear, and this is what I like about these levels. You can just one-shot the mobs around the corner. I love it. I don't see any more mobs. Even if some of them come up, we're just going to run through them maybe without even knowing. But I think that might be it for this level. Our lens is kinda changing colors, which just kinda gives us a bit more of a damage. And is this going to be a boss fight? I think it is, and Malum Agnuis. I probably butchered that, but I have no idea what it means. It looks like a giant worm to me. I think I might have an idea of how to do this really quickly. Let's just wait for it to come out, use the lens, just run through it, follow it, and there it is, the boss is dead.